Thank you for joining Wars of the Roses. And this is Ohio from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry by Albert G. Mackey. Ohio. Freemasonry was introduced into Ohio early in the present century. On January 4, 1808, a convention of delegates from the 5 lodges then in the state met at Chillicothe, and on January 7th organized a Grand Lodge, electing Rufus Putnam first Grand Master. The Grand Chapter of Ohio was organized in 1816, the Grand Council in 1829, and the Grand Commandery in 1843. With the close of the War of the Revolution came the introduction of Freemasonry to Ohio. Several members, including Brother Jonathan Hart, the master of American Union Lodge, moved to Marietta. Their charter, granted by the St. John's Grand Lodge of Massachusetts, February 15, 1776, was claimed by Brother Hart to be that of a lodge at large, owing allegiance to no Grand Lodge. A few years later, the charter was destroyed by fire, but the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania refused to issue a new one to the lodge except as to one of its constituents. The Grand Lodge of Massachusetts granted leave for work to be resumed under a copy of the original charter until such time as a Grand Lodge should be formed. On January 4, 1808, delegates to a convention to organize a Grand Lodge met, representing 5 lodges, namely American Union, number 1, Cincinnati, number 13, Scioto, number 2, Erie, number 47, Amity, number 105. Rules were adopted, and the first Monday in January 1809 was appointed for a grand communication at Chillicothe. At this communication, the delegates from American Union Lodge were absent, so the Grand Lodge was established by 4 lodges under the Constitution of the Grand Lodge of Kentucky. Grand officers were elected and installed, and Brother Samuel Huntington, then Governor of Ohio, was elected Grand Master. General Rufus Putnam was the first choice, but his age and infirmities compelled him to decline the office of Grand Master, his letter, characteristically Masonic, closing with the words, "May the great architect, under whose all-seeing eye all Masons profess to labor, have you in his holy keeping, that when our labors here are finished, we may, through the merits of him that was dead, but now is alive and lives forevermore, be admitted into that temple not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. Amen. So praise your friend and brother." A chapter was opened at Marietta on June 16, 1792, under authority of the Warrant of American Union Lodge, by Robert Oliver, Rufus Putnam, and Griffin Green. At a further meeting held on December 5, 1792, the brethren organized and elected these 3 as the principal officers. R.J. Meigs was elected secretary and Joseph Wood, treasurer. On October 21, 1816, on the invitation of Cincinnati, a meeting was held at Worthington for the purpose of forming a grand chapter, which was duly opened on the 24th. 3 chapters were represented: American Union, number 1, Cincinnati, number 2, Horeb, number 3. Samuel Hoyt was elected Grand High Priest, and Benjamin Gardner, Grand Secretary of the new body, which was received into the Union of the State Grand Chapters. The earliest record of the organization of a Council of High Priests dates from 1828 and appears in the Proceedings of the Grand Council of Ohio. Companion John Snow was elected president of this council. A charter for a council at Chillicothe was sent in 1817 by Companion Jeremy L. Cross, after he had visited Ohio, but there is no record of the organization of that council. A charter issued by the Grand Council of New York, this time for a council at Cleveland, was also barren of result. Companion John Barker, however, organized several councils in Ohio during 1827 and 1828. 5 of these councils met on January 6, 1830, and formed a Grand Council for the state of Ohio. The first commandery in the state was also the first to be established by Knights Templar west of the Allegheny Mountains. Sir Thomas Smith Webb, Deputy Grand Commander of the Grand Encampment of the United States, on March 14, 1819, granted a dispensation to Mount Vernon Commandery, number 1 at Worthington. A charter was issued September 16, 1819, and the commandery was duly constituted September 20th. 5 commanderies, namely Mount Vernon, number 1, Lancaster, number 2, Cincinnati, number 3, Massillon, number 4, and Clinton, number 5, met and organized the Grand Commandery of Ohio on October 14, 1843. On April 27, 1853, the Gibulum Lodge of Perfection and the Dalcho Council of Princes of Jerusalem at Cincinnati were chartered. The Cincinnati chapter of Rose Croix was chartered December 27, 1853, and the Ohio Consistory on May 14, 1854. These are constituent bodies of the Supreme Council, Northern Masonic jurisdiction, ancient and accepted Scottish rite. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Roses. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.